So, hello everyone, and welcome. Those of us in the Asheville area are in the middle of a big thunderstorm. So you get to enjoy the thunder and the rain if you like them. I love them. Good morning, Kai.
Good morning. Sorry I'm late, everybody.
We just began. And I'm going to ask people to come on time, and if you come late, please don't say anything about it. That's how I healed myself from coming late. I took away all excuses. I didn't get to explain anymore. And then I realized I was always late a certain amount of time, and I just started earlier. So I think that's a good way to resolve that. And I'm glad you're here. So let's take a moment and breathe and really feel how much are you in your core. Kind of take notice. Am I here? Am I core? Am I grounded? I found I had a lot of people in my grounding this morning. So if you do, just give it to them or release it into the earth. They wanted me to give mine to the light today. And then create new roots deep into the planet. Breathing in all the way into the base of your spine, breathing out with a big sigh and maybe shake out a little bit. Breathing in, allowing yourself as you breathe in to call upon that earth energy. Let it come up into your body, nurture your core, nurture your chakras. Letting go on the out breath of all it's taken to be to this very moment. Breathing in, feeling your grounding, calling up earth energy, adding your kundalini life force. Let it spiral up through your chakras. And on the out breath, letting go. Couple more connecting to earth. And the next one, as you breathe and fill with that earth energy on the out breath, let it flow into all your cells, all through your body, connecting to the life force in the earth, your own life force, filling up that grounding energy. Noticing where it goes in your body and where it doesn't. On the next in-breath, as deep as your roots are deep, open your branches into the heavens, staying in your core. Breathing in the light of your soul, the light of source, letting it spiral down your center. Follow it in, taking up residence in the core of your body. Breathing in the light of source, the light of your soul, your essence, nature. Breathing out all that is not essentially you. Breathing in your light, your essence, the light of your being, filling your core, and on the out breath, letting it radiate all through your body, all the way down to your toes, your fingers, your spine. the Bija mantras. These are the seed syllables for the chakras. If you open your eyes a moment, I have them on the screen. Starts with the first one, all one sound. It's Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Hum, Om. So Om starts in the sixth, and then looking up at the third eye and out the crown. So breathing in, we'll do a full breath in and out first. Breathe all the way in. Pause at the top. Breathe all the way out. Pause, empty. Full breath. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om. Full breath. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om. Full breath. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om. Notice how you feel. See if that supports you in being more fully in your core. We'll do one more and really emphasize the consonants at the beginning of the first five. Full breath. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om. Breathe and be. And bless yourself. Bless your beautiful heart, your belly, your dantian. When you put your hand right below your navel, you can bless your body mind that starts in the dantian. Includes the nuclei in your cells. Hello, body. I love you. I'm here. Hello, heart. Thank you for guiding me. I love you. And just feel that love for yourself. Offer it and receive it. Breathe it in. I'm being loved. I'm being loved by me. Oh yeah. Inviting your mind to be still. Don't want to hear about what you're not doing. Want to focus on what you are. I'm being loved by me right now. Breathe it in. Beautiful. Okay. So sorry. Pollens are affecting me. But we love spring, so if you will, let's stand. Roll your shoulders. Breathe in as they go up. Breathe out as they go down. Really big circles. And the next in breath, bring them up to your ears. Hold your fists tight, your shoulders tight, 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 tight. And when you release, let everything go and shake out. Let's do that again. That's yummy. Breathing in. All the way up to your ears. Up tight, 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 tight. And then let everything go. Shake out your fanny. Beautiful. And then really wide stance, deep in your knees. Can't quite see this. But really, really deep in your knees. And then you're going to lift one hip. And just be in that stretch. Maybe even stretch that arm up. Let that side really stretch. Back to center. Lift the other hip. And breathe. Go back to the first. Really deep in your knees. And back to the other. Deep in your knees. Let's just circle the pelvis. Can you let the pelvis circle and the upper body be still? So you unhinge the pelvis from the torso. Other direction. So we've talked a little about the vagus nerve, the longest nerve in the body, runs all the way down, connects all the organs except the adrenals. So when you balance it, you're helping to balance all the systems in the body. So I'll talk to you about how to bring it up, but if it's overbalanced, like you've had a call or something happen and you're just really antsy, this is a good way to clear that. So you put your fist face up, elbows bent, fist in front of you, elbows bent, and then you're going to, I want you to watch me first, you're going to go out, around, and whoosh. Okay? So here we go. We'll do it 3 times. Breathe in. Out around. Whoosh. I think we should breathe in as we go around, okay? Fist in front. Whoosh. Fist in front. Whoosh. Once more. Whoosh. Yeah. And come to your seat. How was that? Is that good? I like that. So, I just want to say before we check in, some ways to balance the vagus nerve or to stimulate it is splash cold water in your face or the back of your neck. I'll go out in the cold rain. Or really cold weather. Massage, especially foot massage. So I've started before sleep rubbing a CBD cream into my feet, and I sleep so much better. And then I use this parasympathetic. I don't know how you can see it. It's by Blue Vibrant Oils, and the name of it is parasympathetic. There you go. And you balance the parasympathetic. This is great before sleep. You just put a little right here behind the ear. Oh. It smells wonderful. And in-person interaction, obviously, when you bring up the oxytocin, laughing, singing, chanting, humming, gargling. We need to gargle more. Okay. So, now we're all balanced. Let's do check-in. So whatever you wish to share about what's up for you, what you're passionate about, and how you're doing with your commitments, if you wish. Who would like to time? Thank you, Devorah. So let's do 2.5. And just maybe put up 2 and then your phone. Okay. So who's first? Kimberly?
My commitment to me last week was to go through those 4 questions that you raised as part of the session last week. And I really wanted to reflect on if I was fully activated in my soul's plan, what would that look like? And I didn't really get past question 1. It was mostly about question 1. That took a bit of time. And I sort of felt, and I channeled some of this, that in my life's or my soul's plan, I'm actually further down the path that was anticipated for this life. And that could be why I'm sort of feeling like the field is wide open because I hadn't planned, soul's planned to get this far in terms of my activation, my spiritual development at this stage. Now, whether I channeled that rightly or wrongly, I don't know, but yeah, so and that's why I was sort of feeling kind of like, well, I've got a lot of knowledge and, what do I use with it? Where's my purpose? Where's my goal? And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. So I didn't come to any answer really more than that. And yeah, that's where I was pondering this week. Plus I'm doing that empathy sessions that you are posting as well. So sort of focusing on that as well. The empathetic course that you had. So
Good.
I'm working on that as well. So yeah, that was kind of my week.
Beautiful. It sounds true. You ready for some loving?
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Next. Kai?
Good morning, everyone. I'm really looking forward to our time today. I'm glad that I'm doing this group with you all. So my commitment was to meditate at least 11 minutes a day and then journal at night to integrate my day's experience and kind of harvest the wisdom. And I definitely meditated more and journaled more. This week is not still at the daily level. But I did listen to the replays of the meditations, both the beginning ones, and then it was pretty easy to find them time after break, to find the second channel thing. So that was pretty cool. I highly recommend that. It was helpful to just bask in the ease of just listening and receiving. But I will also say that both the occasions that I did that, I just was in the deliciousness of sitting, and I feel like I fell in love with the simplicity of just sitting, which is huge actually, because I need more of that, and there's a strange resistance to it when it's so nourishing and ultimately pretty simple. So yeah, that was good. That was really good. I think, let's see, I'm trying to feel like, what am I passionate about this week? What's good is that I feel like I'm a little more balanced with the whole relationship part thing. I feel like I was like, I had to know if I was going to apply to some jobs, and then I had to decide if I'm putting my son in which school or whatever. But what I've done is like, I'm done with those decisions, like to the certain degree. Like, I'm just actually saying, I don't need to figure anything out right now. Like, I feel like I was maybe trying, even asking for guidance is still trying to figure something out. And it was interesting and reflecting on other people starting their courtship thing. It was like the advice of like, enjoy the process. And I was just like taking that wisdom. And for me, like I'm in the beginning stages of a relationship. So I have 30 seconds left. Is that what that means? Okay. So, and just enjoy like where I am in that, and not try to make anything of it. And that feels really good. I think it's more balancing to just not think of an upheaval for me right now. And so then it was like, okay, well then now I have to ground into like my commitment to be more attuned through meditation and journaling. Like, that's actually my work right now, not figuring everything out. Thank you.
Great. Want some loving? And next, Laura.
Oh, really appreciating both of your shares so far this morning, Kai and Kimberly. Thank you. Yeah, this week, I definitely feel like I'm in an initiatory phase, and it's really uncomfortable, and I'm okay. It's about boundaries. It's like really hardcore about boundaries and about self-worth. And clarity. I have a client who's like basically ghosting me right now and hasn't paid me, and that's a big chunk of money that I was expecting, and it feels very much out of integrity. And so just trying to figure out what the best course of action is, and to keep it not personal. It feels very personal. So just really working to identify what I did or where I could have held different boundaries, where I gave too much of myself. I can see that there's a trauma dynamic in the relationship. So it's just, there's a lot of little pieces. And I feel like there's some huge initiation work that is happening. And in this way, I'm totally fine. Like, even if I don't get the money, which I'm gonna pursue, I've really been asking to let everything go that needs to go, and let everything come that needs to come, and just working on this divine ebb and flow. And so anyway, it's just a really huge, that coupled with deciding to leave birth work for now, Just feels like there's some really big things being asked of me. Yeah, thank you, Devorah. And to feel like I have a resource is a great feeling, even though I feel shaken and I feel angry and I have a lot of work to do. But there's sort of this like underlining, I can feel my own spine. Yeah. I'll wrap up. My commitments were a little on and off this week. I feel like there's a lot of underneath work. So I'm going to be realistic with my commitments this week, but I did do a lot more just sitting and being, and that felt really good. Really like resourcing. Anyway, thank you. I'll take some love. I know I'm over time.
Next. Devorah.
It's been a really good week. I was able to keep to all of my commitments. I got my second COVID vaccination on Friday, and I was pretty knocked down through Sunday, but came Monday and it's all cleared. So that's good. So I'm feeling good in the body. And I feel, I'm just beginning to feel some relief from what it means to have that second vaccination. It's big. And last night was kind of epic for me. Again, it's just amazing what's happening. But I was pretty much settled that Santa Barbara is going to be the place where I'm going to settle. But there was a lot of stress imagining the finances of buying a home in Santa Barbara. And when I drove through Asheville and just saw how completely cute it was, like I just, thunder. I just, like had this heart opening, and, you know, like if I could, I mean, I don't know, I haven't even checked into it, but like if I could buy a home for under $500,000, that would completely revolutionize my life. And so, and what I went through yesterday was like, could I imagine leaving all of my people? And the answer was yes. Whether for Asheville or some other place that is totally affordable, suddenly my roots to Southern California were released, and it was crazy. And then I also decided, all right, I'm calling in my man too. And then this morning on a hike, like I've always fantasized about meeting a man on a hike. And I met this man on this hike. We hiked together for an hour and a half. I don't think he's the one, but I feel like energetically I've shifted. Like I released my ex-boyfriend, Justin, and suddenly Spirit was like, all right, well, here's the guy, check him out. So anyway, I'm kind of flying high and just cannot believe how adventurous and the risks I'm taking in this life. And it's so cool. And I am done. And I'll take your love.
Yay. Katie.
Hi. So, I would say with my commitments, I was pretty good, but I feel like, a lot of it kind of changed for me. I've been trying to make it a point to go on like me dates where I just enjoy things. And I've definitely erred on the side of minimalism the last year or two. So like the idea of buying something just to buy something is, it just doesn't fulfill me. So like a week or two ago, I went on a me date and got ice cream, and I was getting hit on by like this attractive guy, but I was like, I'm on my me date. This is not really why I'm here. I'm here to get mint chocolate chip ice cream. Like, and so I tried to do that, this week, and I met up with my neighbor. We just started hanging out, but it was enjoyable. Even that conversation a couple weeks was, and I'm realizing like I think the universe needs me to be around people more. I do have a tendency to isolate. And so I've almost savored that a little too much in the last year or two. So I've been led to say, how can I put myself out there more in a way that aligns with me? And also, I feel like, I would say like 3 or 4 years ago, I'm realizing I had a lot of things that were pretty painful spiritually, emotionally, I went through. And I would always tell myself everything's temporary, like this will pass. But now I have some things that are good. And in my soul, I know they're not permanent, but it's like, how can I still enjoy those? And almost say like, maybe this relationship is kind of a recreational one, or maybe this short-term project I'm going to take, it's only going to last 6 months. That's okay. And just come to peace with those things, if that makes sense. And not, and just be like attached enough where I can savor it, but not too invested in what it might mean, kind of thing. Come to peace with that is where I'm at.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot.
It is. It's a big shift. Ready for some loving?
Yes, please. Thank you.
So, I got my taxes done. I sent them off. I'm so impressed. It gets more complex every year, my goodness. And I've gotten really clear I'm moving to somewhere else in Asheville. Looking at a house right after we're done today. And I needed my taxes done. I wasn't even thinking in that regard, but it's the perfect way to show my income. So my timing is right on. And I have till July to move, so I'm looking, seeing what's out there, getting a feel for the market. Not rushing, but wish it was done yesterday. If it was this place, it would just take so much pressure off, then I could focus on packing and such. So that's pretty major, I think, for me to recreate my life in a new way. A lot more yard, a lot more outdoor place. I could be sitting on my screened-in porch, covered screened-in porch in the place I'm looking at today, I just feel it's going to give me more of what I want. So, what else? I'm happy. I'm loving my life. My staff, admin, personal assistant couldn't be better. She's amazing. And I'll take some loving. Yay. Thank you. So, I wanted to share another way of transmuting energy. and then I think we'll do a little process. Have you ever worked with creating a rose outside yourself? Nope. So if you've got someone that you're really having challenges with, or you want to let go of, you want to clear the energy about a situation in your life, this is a beautiful way to do it. So you ask the angels to make a big rose outside your energy field, great big rose, and you put the person in. So think of someone you want to do this with, or some situation that you just really want to get the energy cleared. Especially someone that's been invasive, or it just keeps being in your space. So you put the person in the rose, and then any scene that comes up in relation to them, imagine you put that in the rose. Any emotions about them or that situation, any fears, any anger, put it in the rose. Any memories that just stay with you, or thoughts, put it in the rose. And anything they've said about you, especially any messages that have been difficult or destructive, put them in the rose. And then when you feel you've got everything about them in the rose, some of you seem to be writing, but I want you to also do this if you will. So fill your rose with whoever that is, whatever that is, and everything you can think about that comes up about that person or situation. Put them in the rose. And when you're ready, ask the angels to wrap that rose in a bubble of light. And I want you to know before we do the next step that this actually helps the other person too, because it liberates their energy and yours. So they wrap the rose in a bubble of light and then have them take it way out into the atmosphere, or out over the ocean, way, way out. And blow it up or burn it. And that gives them their energy back, and you get yours back. So how does that feel?
I struggled a little bit with the imagery of like blowing it up or burning it, because I was kind of in the ocean. So I created a little pyre and burned it on a raft. But when you say blowing up, do you mean like an explosion of it, or blowing it like with air?
Blowing it, exploding it. Yeah,
Okay.
or
Oh,
burning it.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It gives your subconscious the message of, I can do this, I have power over this, I can release this. I learned this from Shakti Gawain, and she said sometimes people are afraid they're going to hurt someone, so she had us all do that with her. And she went, oh, thank you. Because she got her energy back from everyone in her workshop. So it actually serves both people. Anything else anyone wants to share? Katie?
It feels like to me, I released kind of an energetic debt I had with this person. And I feel like I've done similar things with letter writing. And yeah, it just gives you that kind of clean slate. Like we're paid in full, we're done. That cycle's closed. But I feel like I'll feel it later. I did this with a specific kind of place, and I'm pretty close to that. So I feel like I'm excited when I happen to drive by it, and I'll just be like neutral, which is pretty great.
Great. Yeah, brings your energy into current time. Okay, anything else? Laura?
Well, I just appreciate what you said about it, bringing it to current time. Because the situation that I imagined, it just feels so complex. It feels like it's mired in almost what feel like lifetimes of chaos and intersectioning. And so I'm a little shy on words today. I'm like emotionally exhausted and haven't been sleeping well. So it's just a little hard to get what's here out. But yeah, like bringing it all current and regardless of the situation, it felt like it cleaned something. It was like a snap almost. And I imagined my rose bubble just vaporizing in the atmosphere. I was thinking of blowing it up, but then it just sort of like vaporized, which felt appropriate. So anyway.
Great.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So, ready to move on? Okay. So, I came up with a little process. I haven't done this in the other groups, but it just feels good. So, with your journal, if you wish, or inside, I'd like you to answer the question, and I'll type these into the chat so you don't have to write them down. What do you most want to accomplish? And the next question's in the chat. What needs in you would that meet? What needs in you would that meet? You ready for the next question? Nope. Okay. So if you feel like you are, just dig a little deeper. What needs in you would accomplishing that meet? And the next question. Why do you not want to do that? Or what do you tell yourself that stops you? Why do you not want to do that? Maybe inner voices, parent stuff, whatever. Why do you not want to do that? Kind of a subset. What do my fears tell me? And what needs in me does that meet? The not wanting to do it, listening to my fears. Everything, according to compassionate communication, is designed to meet a positive universal need. So what needs in you are getting met by the not wanting to do it or the way you stop yourself? So take a breath. Just notice all that. Whoops. Yeah, just notice all that. And take a moment to tune into your heart. Breathing, arriving in your core. And the next question is, what does my heart tell me? Tell me when you're ready for the next. Anyone need more time? Okay. So come into your heart. Breathe right into your heart. And imagine in your heart you can hold the fears, the resistance, the needs they meet. And hold them in love. And summon the violet flame, asking Saint Germain to assist you in summoning the violet flame. And allow it to infuse the fears, the resistance, whatever's there, with the violet flame and with love. Bringing in your love, divine love, and the violet flame to these spheres. They've served you. And encompass them in the violet flame. And feel it beginning to dissolve whatever is not true. And embrace whatever needs are being met. Inviting Saint Germain and your guides to fill your heart with the violet flame. Fill your body, your being, with the violet flame that transmutes, softens, creating light where there was heaviness. Breathing into the violet flame. In action in me now. And allowing as you breathe into the violet flame, that it dissolves, transmutes, maybe even dissolves some walls inside you between I want and I don't. The going forward and the moving back. Just let it work within you. Allowing the love and the light to expand your heart. To dissolve boundaries and barriers that are not needed. To dissolve that which is less than your full truth. And open you to your fullest expression. And opening to the love in your soul, the light of your being. And what request would you like to offer into the quantum field? What request would you like to offer into the quantum field? Infusing those requests with pure love.
You muted yourself, Evalena.
Breathe into those requests. Breathe into the love you're connecting to in the quantum field. And allow it to fill you. And then stretch a little, yawn a little, move a little. Stretching and yawning makes room. So that is all in the chat. If you wish to do it again, you can save the chat. It's the three little dots at the bottom right. You just click on those and say save chat, and it'll appear in your computer. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll put them in our group. So I'd love any shares from that. What did you experience? Or what did you learn? Okay.
Well, I can dive in a little bit, I guess. I really liked the question when asking what my heart wanted to tell me. It said, infuse love and gratitude into all my moments as the heart of my spiritual practice. And it was, there was kind of this receiving of the gift of what's like ahead of me in claiming, staying put, and then claiming, like, and just taking, I don't know, just reveling in the ease that I actually have. It was actually an allowance to be deeply nourished by that. It is such a gift. And yeah, I just kind of felt that at a visceral level, like that this is, and it just made me really kind of excited and happy and grateful that this is kind of setting me up for this challenge that I want to take on of being a Waldorf teacher and taking a grade of children through. It was kind of like when I tuned into like why I'm not doing that, it was just like, it just, I mean, I don't want to get into too much detail because I don't want to take too much time, but it was just like, I have some inner work to do to make myself strong enough to take on that challenge. And it was just like, yeah, I mean, I've come a long way in my path, but I actually like, it's just, yeah, just to like bring that, let myself be nourished. And so not to feel selfish that I'm still working out my health challenges and I'm still getting my, like, just kind of logistics in order, I guess, at some level. It's like that's where I am, and that's okay. And that actually, like, it's a good thing. It's just where I need to be. So it's not good or bad. It just is where I am, and just to revel in that's what I'm doing right now, and to do it the best I can. So it was like love and gratitude as I do that in everything. And that has been coming up very naturally in me, to feel that. Oops, sorry. Yeah, but that's I'm on my path. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. As you're speaking, I was just reflecting on how far you've come since I met you. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Great next steps. Yeah. And you know, all we really have is now. Devorah?
That was a wonderful process, and it was really great that I didn't have to write down the questions. But I'm not on my computer. I'm on my iPad, and I cannot figure out how to save that chat. I don't know if I can this way. So if you could have it mailed to us, that would be very helpful for me.
Can I put it in our group?
I don't know what that means.
We have a private group that we made on evalenarose.com for us. Where people
Oh,
are
you mean
posting
just
their
like
commitment.
post it, like
Yes,
post it on
post
there.
it.
Yeah, sure. Put it there. That's great. Thank you.
Great.
So, just that old, I'm not good enough. Oh, it's so deep. I'm not good enough. And you know what? I am good enough. And I, and I'm beautiful inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was created to do this stuff. So there's no, I can't do it. I'm not good enough to do it. This is what I was created to do. So, okay. And my prayer was just, for everything to come to me with ease.
Mm-hmm.
That's my prayer.
Mm-hmm.
For it to just unfold with ease. So that was really wonderful. And so money is such a place where I can get hitched, And so to really reconsider, well, what if I move to a place that's just, I could afford to buy a home and have extra. And I just like my my parasympathetic nervous system could just relax in a situation where I wasn't feeling like I was always scrambling for money. So that was really deep. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Anyone else want to share? Katie?
This was a lot for me, and I feel like what I was kind of like, that's so weird to me, is the first question is, for me, what do I most want to accomplish? I wrote down things that feel very contradictory to me. I wrote down freedom and also security. And it's like, wait a minute, those feel so opposite. And then as we got further in, I feel like I still have a lot of kind of money wounds and limiting beliefs around money.
Mm-hmm.
And fear of the past repeating itself. And this is going to sound weird, but I almost feel like part of me, like the logical part of me, says you have to figure out your basic needs before you can get to those self-actualized needs. And then part of me is like, you can still acknowledge you still have those fears from the past, yet also be in these self-actualized needs. And so I guess the biggest thing is I'm realizing I really have to let go of like when we did What Does My Heart Tell Me, I wrote, my beliefs suck around money. I really don't like them. And I'm like, I'm bigger than capitalism. I mean, and that's where I'm like, okay, I am choosing to see how I feel. I've had like 7 careers or so, and I feel like just so many. And I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to at least try to see the beauty in my being very different in my trajectory and life path and some of my goals, and just celebrate that. But I'm also asking the universe, like, sometimes I just need to see other ways as this possible. Is kind of what I'm trying to going to try to shift towards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great. Good. Anyone else? Kimberly?
Oh, I've had the benefit of a one-on-one counseling session with you, Evalena, so we have covered up some of that. So, but some of those answers came quite easily to me. And what I most want to accomplish is to actually be in a committed, loving, romantic relationship and success with my art career in the US. Those are the two things that I have on my plate. And really, what is to some extent stopping me, but I think, and I love this exercise and the one previous, it's about control issues from galleries, control issues from partners. And it's, and so, and I did work with you, this Evalena, and again, the exercise today, and I'll continue to do so. It's about opening my heart again to all of that and knowing I will be absolutely fine. And actually, what my heart was telling me is the right partner is very close by, and he will actually be the connection to the New York gallery. So, yeah, so it's, I feel very blessed.
Great. Beautiful.
I guess that leaves me. I mean, these are really such poignant questions, and I feel like I could redo them over and over and over. And sometimes I think that I can just go so big that my challenge becomes actualizing what is the specific thing that I want to accomplish in my life. And I don't really feel like there's one specific thing. But one thing I wrote was I wanted to be liberated from the past. I want to live from and in love. I want to be in right relationship and feel love. I want to teach and foster change in the world. And I want to sing. And ultimately, it all comes whittling down to fear of being found out as an imposter, that I actually can't do any of those things and that I'm full of shit. Like a lot of my fear is around self-worth. And if I come back to the present moment, sorry, I don't know why I can't ever get that to shut down. There we go. If I come back to the present moment, I'm okay. I'm like better than okay. And yet there are these ways that I keep myself small, that I make choices that recapitulate that smallness and that inability to move out and trust. And as I say that, I know I'm doing those things. Like I've taken a lot of leaps of faith this year, and giving up clients financially is huge. And so there is a lot of, it's almost like the dragonfly, who I believe starts off underwater as a nymph, and then they crawl out of the water, and their wings, which are already there, have to like dry out and unfurl. And I feel like my wings are drying out right now. Like they're there, but I haven't quite taken flight. And really it comes back to love, and everything that's going needs to be going right now. And that process is getting easier, that release. It's like there's so much superfluous noise and static. And what's really true is when I'm quiet and I can hear my heart and my belly mind, the answers are there. So I don't know, I feel like I'm going off tangent a little bit, but that was kind of the process of like, I have everything I need and I am doing it. It's what I tell mamas in labor. Like, you know, I wish, I don't know if I can do this. Well, you are doing it. Like you're in labor, you know? And so I am doing it. I just need to keep reminding myself that, and need to keep stepping off those ledges and trusting. So anyway, that's my share.
Beautiful. Yay. these exercises come to me somewhere around 11, 12 at night, the night before we start. So I'm happy that they're serving. Built on something I've probably done in the past, but keep growing. So, and I want you to know that even now, 43 years into my work, I occasionally think I'm a fraud. People are going to find me out. Sometimes I'm so confident, and sometimes it's like, oh my God, I can't do that. I think it's just that play between ego and our being. So what I hear is how important the present moment is. So before we go on our break, let's just ask our radiant guides and angels to realign all of us with the present moment, to recalibrate our energies to current time, and to release all that's past or imagined futures that's not serving. Bring all of us right into the sacredness of this present moment. In this moment, all you need is available to you. All the resources are in the present moment. And they're all on the path that you've just been writing about. So universe, rearrange yourself to fit this picture of reality that I have what I desire. And I allow myself to really receive it and live it and be it. Blessed be. Yeah. Beautiful. So let's take a break. It seems like we need about 8 minutes, so let's come back at 33 after the hour. Okay? everybody coming back. Arriving. I'm gonna go get my tea. Laura, are you here? Looks like we need 10 minutes. Okay. So, welcome back. Shall we invite in our friends in high places? Sometimes I call them the dudes and the dudettes. All right. So, allowing yourself to breathe and ground. Flow right into your center, the core of your body. Arriving in the heart of now, this sacred moment. The heart of your own being connected to the heart of Source. I ask the angels and archangels, please create for us a crystalline temple of radiant energy, a crystalline temple of light all around each one of us and this work. I ask that you cleanse and clear all energies not of the light from around any of us, and weave for each one of us our own chrysalis of radiance, filled with the rays and vibrations needed by this work, by our bodies, our lives. I ask God, Goddess, Source of all that is, encompass us in your radiant light. Each your only being, serving love, light, and truth, may participate in any way. Highest truth is all that is spoken, deepest healing and guidance is received. If you will, breathe and ground, invoking your own most radiant high self to assist you in receiving all you need, releasing all it serves to release, and filling with your radiance, breathing in your light and light from Source. I welcome into this sacred temple the Council of 12, and I welcome those beings from the heart of the light only, who are guides or loved ones for anyone here. Greetings, dear ones. We greet you, we bless you. We're always honored to be with you. And we feel such validity in what you're discovering about the importance of being in now. And we feel it would be really curious in your life if you looked at everything you judged and you said, what positive universal need is that trying to meet? So you look at everything you judge, you look at your fears, you look at your resistance, all those things that you might blame yourself for, and you go, okay, there's a reason for that. What is the positive universal need that's trying to get met by that? Safety, containment, not getting hurt. And you play with that, and then you go, okay, so those are important needs. How else can I meet them? You can think of all those parts of you that resist or stay in fear as younger aspects that took on those jobs to protect you. And so it's all meant to make your life work. Well, if that's so, I want that. I want my life to work. I want those needs to be met. So if I'm going to ask those parts to not keep meeting those needs, then I've got to embrace the parts that are meeting them with love and find a way for those needs to get met. Safety might be met by adding in meditation, learning that value of stillness. The sense of keeping small, how do you meet that need? But then what's the need under that? You see, what's the need to hide or be small or in some way be invisible? And you look at that. We're going to ask Evalena to post the list of positive universal needs. And we'd love for you to take whatever you think is in the way and look at that. What need is it trying to meet? Because when you orient your life to meet those needs, you're just so much more able to show up in your core and in your quest, in what you're seeking. That's very different from, I just need to shush those voices. I just need to get rid of that ego. I just need to not let that interfere with me. Well, it's there though. And when you try to get rid of a part of yourself or destroy a part of yourself, you're working against your internal mechanism and you're increasing the danger. Instead, you want to meet the part of you that's running whatever that program is with love. And if you realize it's probably a child self, then it's easier to meet them with love because you can recognize that when they develop those behaviors, you probably needed them to be safe. And so you meet them with love and you go, wow, you're really good at blocking me. You got a lot of skill in that. You're really good at telling me about my fears. You develop that well. That's a lot of capacity. And when you meet them in admiration, then they're able to listen to you and start wanting to connect with you. So often, the parts that do this protection are the inner masculine. And that's this part that would implement your dreams. But it's busy protecting the scared ones inside. So we think of it like this, that something happens that triggers a young part of you and it sets up fear. And then the protector selves try to protect. But they don't look around in the world and see is there really danger. They just respond to that fear like they've always responded. And so you basically get them in contact. You get in contact with them rather than excluding. And you go, how are you trying to help? And admire them and help them look at the world and see it's not that way anymore. And I'm on duty. We have seen hundreds of thousands of times over our years of channeling through people that the parts that are most resistant to change settle when they realize there really is an adult on duty who cares about me. There really is a central organizing energy. And you build trust when you meet them with love and admiration. And it doesn't happen when you meet them with, what's wrong with you and why don't you go away? Get out of my way. They'll get more in your way. Because that's what they're used to. They're used to being ignored or made wrong. But when you meet every aspect of you with love and acceptance, then you're able to bring them into the fold of who you really are. And you encourage those protector cells to allow your grown adult to take care of things. Then you might want to take some time to get to know your inner masculine. Is he grown? In Evalena's Tantra work, she used to do about an hour and a quarter process, putting on music that felt like the masculine and dancing at the masculine, going after goals, as if climbing a mountain and finding boulders and finding things in the way. How does that part of you respond to such? And then putting on music for the inner feminine with the masculine, just witnessing. And what is she like? And having her, for that one, it was in a meadow with beautiful, sensual sounds and energy and music, and then coming to a bridge over a creek. Fully embodying each one, and then she would have the adults sit on a cliff, and the inner masculine would come from one part of the beach, the inner feminine from the other, and then watching what they do with each other. And then inviting them to talk, negotiate, see what they need from each other. We share this because in many women, the inner masculine might be young or might be all-powerful, but the inner feminine be a teenager that hasn't yet claimed her power. In Evalena, because of 5 perpetrators, incest perpetrators, her inner masculine was tied up. And the inner feminine, not very well developed, but trying to handle everything. And so when you play with those 2 parts, or you get to know those 2 aspects, you're able to truly evolve an adult in charge, an adult on duty, what some call the aware ego. So it might be lovely to spend some time with, what's my inner masculine? What's he like? Can I meet him? And movement's a good way to do that. Put on some music and move with him. And then put on some really sweet, flowy music and move with her. And maybe have them dance for each other. But in some way, to begin to negotiate working together. So if you can dream big and think of all these amazing things but not implement them, your masculine may not have permission. Because that's the task of the yang side. The yin side connects with spirit, accesses the wisdom, the dreams, the vision, and then the yang side says, what would you like me to do, darling? Let me take that and make it happen in the world. It's shown in the weight deck. If you look at the Lovers card, there's an image of superconsciousness, the feminine and the masculine, and the masculine is looking to the feminine who's looking to superconsciousness. If your feminine has been really wounded to where she hasn't been able to fully grow up, then it's harder to have that link to source. And if the masculine has been shackled or in some way not allowed to fully serve, then you dream big, but it's really hard to make it happen. So just tune into that in this week. What's happening with my masculine? What's happening with my feminine? And eventually you want to work toward an intermarriage of those two, because they're meant to be partners in everything. It's also very fascinating if you're calling a beloved and yet you haven't activated the intermarriage. That's where people do the society's idea of my better half. I'm only half. I need to be whole. You're going to fix me. You're going to fill my holes. But nobody can fill your holes but you. So what really allows for transformative love is this intermarriage, that your feminine and your masculine are working together in everything. If your yang side is really active, they're going to see in a potential mate what wants to take you over or control or in some way less than fully respect you. And if your yin side is getting her needs met, she's going to be calling someone else who meets needs, who wants not to meet her needs to make her whole, but who knows that, what they say in Tantra, if you satisfy the goddess and the woman, everybody gets their needs met. Who recognizes that this love affair could be about really satisfying, fulfilling the potential in each of you. That's transformative love. So we didn't know we were going there today, but we don't have to because it's all sacred. Let's see what else wants to get said before we open. Each of you in this work, you're potentiating yourself. You're potentiating something inside you that's wanting to grow and evolve. You called it initiatory, Laura, that there's a way in which allowing yourself to examine these things and to tune into spirit more is creating a kind of initiation in you to become more your full self, for your soul to show up more, to have more access to you. A lot of people just walk around running the bodies from outside and not really realizing that there's so much more vast than just this lifetime. So what's potentiating you, in part, is an awareness of that vastness. You put wishes into the quantum field today. Whoa! That really furthers you down the path. So access the quantum field. Call it in. Call yourself into it. Call yourself into your light body. Call yourself into union with your soul. A lot. And it's not that you have to do your soul's bidding. And yet your soul has the biggest view of your life. So if you collaborate, if you cooperate, if you not cooperate, that's like I have to do what you say, but if you collaborate and you work in partnership with your soul and with Source, life gets a lot more interesting. a lot more fulfilling. And yes, you can meet someone special on a hike, or meet someone who has the resources you speak. You can call to yourself the very people and experiences that further you on your path. And it's all from now, where all the power is. Beautiful. We love how you're evolving. It's so joyous to us to see you blossoming. It fulfills our desires to be a part of evolution itself. So just take a moment and go, good for me. I'm doing good. Yeah, good for me. Yeah, yeah. Self-reward is really valuable. Yeah. Hugs are good. This is a good way to get some oxytocin. Hug yourself, stroke yourself. That helps to balance the parasympathetic nervous system too. Just that loving that says, yeah, you belong. You belong. I want you in the middle of my world. Yeah. Okay, so let's open this to any inquiries, and if anyone wishes to channel to them, we can do some practicing. So tune in. Do you have an inquiry? And can you open to allowing the highest light, the highest beings to speak through you? Who would like to ask something? Okay.
Well, what's percolating in my being is this sense of the climate crisis and this thought form that's out there that we have that at one point it was like we have 12 years to change course, so that there's this like really critical window, and now that's 10 years. I don't know exactly, 11 years. So there's some part of me as I check in with what I most want to do, some things feel really in alignment, like just getting my own house in order, getting my own health optimal. And but then there's part of me that's like, okay, if that's really true, like, then don't we all just need to stop and become climate activists or something? Like there's that sense of like, does becoming a school teacher, really, as much as that might serve the small community, I don't know. So I just feel this like, and I try to like relax into trust around it. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, but I'm struggling with this. So this clearly is part of life force waking up, humanity waking up. So I don't know. So just any wisdom around like that huge picture and our own choices, I guess. It's kind of an open-ended question, but
They're the best. Good question. So tuning in, looking up into your soul, inviting yourself to be available as a channel. What would like to get spoken through you? Devora?
Being of service to children is absolutely of service to the planet. There's so many different ways to be an activist for the planet, and connecting with love to Mama Earth and sharing that excitement with children is absolutely an important path. How does it feel to hear that, Kai?
Yeah, it actually is reminding me of an idea that has been circulating, which is to create a container, like right now, not in the future, but with kids and family around seasonal celebrations and doing like restorative work for the environment. And so I think that there is, yeah, to bridge basically both working with kids and the climate crisis in a way that's digestible for families and kids. Like, I do feel called to do that. So it's a reminder. So I just actually put a action item down to call someone who I want to partner with on that. Thanks, Deborah.
Good. Did that feel clear? It felt like you really dropped in, Deborah. Yeah. Good. Katie?
We want you to see how much impact your vibration has. The vibration you hold in the container of your classroom has a domino effect on the parents, on educators, on your community, on a bigger level. There's multiple layers to the vibration and the energy you bring. You don't have to do all the manpower work. You are here to do the vibrational work, the frequency work, and the earth can transmit that, with all due respect, more quickly and efficiently than the human consciousness can. You are going to be in that energy and vibration of what you want to see in the climate and the earth for Gaia, and that will shift things more deeply than you trying to organize any human tasks around this goal. How did that land?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, and it also means like the impulse that I'm feeling, like then channel that into my frequency and vibration, like, you know, not to, yeah, I appreciate that very much. Thank you. It really resonated.
Great. Good job. Sometimes you take a risk. You may only know the first word, or you may just feel, oh, something's quickening in me. I need to open my mouth. Laura?
There's such a push-pull today in my brain. It's a really beautiful and poignant question, Kai. And we do want to reiterate the idea of kids and the bigger picture, and that you're in sort of this perfect place. You're in a launching place. And there's the curriculum of Waldorf. And then there's sort of this intersectionality with kids who are so brilliant today. I mean, the kids that I meet today are just mind-blowing in their awareness and what they're exposed to. And there's almost this picture that's arriving of like pods around the world of kids, like this global coming together. It's like maybe there's a seed program, and maybe it has to do with Waldorf and maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's a summer program, but there's this seed program, and there's just all these little pods of kids all around the world that are working a similar program. And that's the vision. So I don't know if that resonates, but it's really powerful. And it's, I don't want to say a franchise, but something that is reproducible anywhere, and that really involves kids and awareness and climate change and actionable things we can do to make a difference. I think that's it.
Thank you, Laura. Yeah, I feel that potential. It's interesting how the word pod and the concept of it is so much more real after the pandemic, right? I mean, it's like globally, we're all, that's like, oh yeah, my pod, and that wasn't there so much. So yeah.
And I hadn't really put that connection there. It's just like, I just saw these little, like, almost like on an ocean where there's like a pod and then it goes to all these other pods, and I don't know what that is, but it's just a vision. So kind of a similar thing, like pen pals, but not necessarily pen pals, like ways to stay connected. And then that also fosters relationships around the world for kids. And anyway, I don't know if it's your thing, Kai, but that's what showed up. So
yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, start locally anyways, but yeah, I like that global vision. Thank you.
Good. Feels like a great clarity to add. Yeah. Devora?
When Lara was speaking, the word that I heard was curriculum. And, the question that you began with of whether it's like it's too small for you to just be working in this little community. And it might be that a curriculum, that you develop a curriculum regarding this, and that could have broader impact. And so maybe it's in this community, but maybe it's beyond your little community, but it begins with your community.
Good.
Thank you, Devora.
That landed. Kimberly?
What was coming through for me was that you need to push out that time frame of 10, 12, 15 years. We have the passion, the means, the technologies being developed. That horizon is so further out.
Yeah, thank you. It's true. We can kind of take things very literally sometimes. Yeah. Nature works in big expanses.
Beautiful. That's exactly where we went, Kimberly. And in the 80s, it was, we're at the 11th hour, 59th minute. Yeah, well, we're still here. So to trust the mobilization is happening. And we also got the image of Greta, a student. And that one student is awakening a whole lot of people to the need to do something about climate change. So you may influence the next one who steps up like that. You don't know. And that could be your prayer. May I activate climate activists through my teaching. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Good work, y'all. Great question, great responses. Next inquiry. Clear the space. Thank you. Takes a village. Katie?
So I've been trying to find peace and a certain like inner knowing on the balance between staying in the now and not letting something linger on too long, kind of past its time frame. And I tended to in personal relationships let things that were meant to be just fun and kind of a fling just say I'm going to go with the flow, and then 7 years later I'm still in this serious relationship with this person that I was like I was just going to be friends with benefits with. What happened? Or I'm still in this career, I really don't like it, and it's been almost 8 years. Why am I here? And I want to be very present, but also from a place of my own self-love and love for others, not drag people, businesses, communities into this path where it's just like we're on this hamster wheel. It's time to get off. So I would love guidance on where to find the balance in being present, but actively present with that life path as opposed to passively present.
Great question. Tuning in, inviting your highest, most radiant guides to assist you, to speak through you. Open me as a vessel. Kimberly?
Question that comes up, or maybe that you can use, is, does this serve me? And maybe that question is asked on a semi-regular basis amongst areas of your life. Don't know if that resonates at all.
It does. I feel like it's doing it regularly is the part that really resonates.
Mm-hmm. So questions are really good in this work to allow that to come through. We would just say, I don't know if that resonates at all, then she wants to take care of you. Rather, how does that resonate? Would be a good response. Yeah, beautiful. Kai?
The image that came to me was the waxing and the waning moon. And so I just felt called after Kimberly spoke to say that maybe the rhythm of that might be helpful to have those regular checkpoints. So the new moon being kind of what do I need to grow, or what, and the full moon being kind of when you can celebrate what is, and then the new moon being when you can maybe discern things that you need to let go of. Or I don't know if you can feel into those cycles, but that was just the image that came in terms of a rhythmic way of aligning with the bigger cosmos energy, but also, yeah, just staying current with all aspects of your life. So the question is, how did that resonate? Is that what you're saying, Evalena? Rather than
one, yes.
Okay, yeah. How did that resonate for you?
I think it's something I have to kind of digest and sit with, because sometimes I'm like, what's the moon phase? But I feel the power of the analogy of that, and almost like the tides of life, the ebb and flow. That part really resonates deeply.
Good. Laura?
Such a great inquiry. Like, the image is something of like a pinhole leak, and what are the things in my life that are creating a pinhole leak of my energy, as opposed to the things that are so solid and so right that they're just a full-bodied yes, and there's a giving of energy, a receiving of energy, as opposed to a leaking of energy. So it's almost like a life inventory, and it can be done with the cycles of the moon. It could be done as a checklist every day. What are the places, what are the things in my life that do not have lackluster, that I am less than enthusiastic about? Almost like Marie Kondo and her house clearing. Like, it's an energetic inventory of what is actually chosen versus what is sticking along for the ride, and how much lackluster is in, like, the word lackluster just keeps coming up. Like, where are the things that are just like barely making it up to here, as opposed to being like a hell yes. So like your own internal gauge and inventory taking is what I see, like being really proactive and getting to honor those decisions for you. What are you saying yes to? Not what are you just okay with, or what's along for the ride, but like, where do you say yes to you? How does that land for you?
That definitely makes sense. Yeah, I'm pretty good at identifying what's a hell yes versus anything else. But I feel that may be what I need to look at when I've been looking at it as a very like linear time perspective instead. What is the energy and enthusiasm behind that? Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks.
Good, good. Devora?
Katie, the question that came for me was regarding you're talking about being present. And what is it to be present? The sense that I get that truly being present is being awake to my own internal experience in the moment while I'm experiencing what's happening. And it feels that the more you are able in the present moment to be in tune with what's really going on within you and experiencing the fullness of that moment with the person that you're with a job that you're with whatever life circumstance you're with, but to be tuning into the fullness of that experience, which includes how you feel about it in any given moment. And the more you are truly present with whatever's unfolding, the more clarity you will have about decisions that you might want to make to continue something or to change something or to end something, whatever it may be. And so the more you're in tune deeply with the present moment, which is it doesn't mean ignoring your own voice. And the more you can hear your own voice and what's unfolding, the more you'll have clarity about where you want to be and where you want to go.
Are you wondering how that resonates?
Sure.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt. Sorry. Yeah, I feel that helps me see how to check in from a heart level, if that makes sense. Thank you.
Good, good. I just feel, Devorah, how much more you're in the flow, in the really letting yourself access. It's beautiful. Good. Okay.
I just had one more image come to me when Devorah was speaking, and that was what Evalena talked about, like taking cords of connection out by the root. So I was just thinking that was like, especially with the relationship piece, that their agenda and their comfort level and wanting like can maybe be influencing. So, and you spoke of your me dates that are feeling so important. And I was just imagining maybe doing a little meditation before your me dates where you literally are disconnecting some of those cords so you can really be in the clarity of your own energy and your own wisdom. So I guess I'm curious how that landed for you.
Yeah, I think the thing is with the me date, I almost need to give myself permission to really do it in a setting where I'm not around people and realize like that's kind of the point in a weird way. Yeah, because I've been thinking I just need to go in the middle of nowhere and hike or just sit and ground in like a rural park where I can just lay in the grass. Thank you.
Good. All right. Does this feel complete? Good question, great responses. We had just one more question when you're doing this evaluation of what do I want right now? We allow a lot to just continue because we're doing it, but what do I want right now? Yeah. You know, if something's serving you, you continue. And if it's not, you pay attention. What would serve me? Good, let's clear the space. So we have time for another inquiry. And just a question, did you like doing the commitments by putting them in the website group rather than sharing them here? If so, just give me a thumbs up. We can use the rest of the time for this practice. And if not, thumbs down. We'll do the commitments here. So let's go ahead and we'll see what happens. Next inquiry. Yes. Kimberly?
It's not quite a fully formed question, but I have because of my business life, a very, in the timing of the world that's happened, a very strong masculine self that was needed for the environment I was in. And when you were talking about the inner masculine, I'm quite sure where those cross over, how to distinguish them, and there's some clarity on that.
I'm actually just needing a little bit of a clarification. So this is about your inner masculine in relation to your inner feminine, or could you just maybe ask one more time?
Well, I mean, I think my outer masculine is overly developed at the expense of my outer feminine. And it may be reflected internally. In fact, I suspect it is. I'm not quite sure how to balance those, the inner and the outer, or whether those are just two distinct things. There's work to be done. I'm not quite sure how to go about it.
Thanks.
Sorry, one more question. Still trying to understand it. Can you just try to state your question very clearly? Because I'm still not totally there.
Something resonated when Evalena was talking about the inner masculine. I think there's work to do, but I'm not sure how that relates to the inner and the outer. Has one overtaken the other? I don't know if I've got to relax the outer to balance the inner. I don't know how to phrase this. As I say, it's not a very fully formed question. I mean, any aspect of that you can comment on, even just if anything you're picking up, would be appreciated. Thank you.
So let's broaden it a little to what can I learn about balancing my masculine and my feminine, this very strong outer masculine. What's needed in that relationship? Does that seem good? All right, tuning in. Devorah.
I'm going to totally go out on a ledge here because my Devorah does not really understand the whole inner masculine feminine stuff. So this is just kind of not from an ego self because I don't really in my mind understand. But what I saw is lips, and the lips as like a guardian in a sense of what's on the inside and comes out and comes through, and it's and the lips as the place also somehow where the masculine and feminine can join together to come out. Let me think more. This is like so.
Rather than thinking,
Okay.
say to Spirit,
Yeah.
let this be God's words, not mine.
Mhm.
What does Spirit want to say here? And yeah, it'll feel like jumping off a ledge.
If you allow the words to flow through your mouth with an intention of having there be a merging of the inner feminine and inner masculine, and allow your speech not from a place of thinking things through, but just to like speak it out, what you're feeling in your heart, that can be a doorway for commingling of the masculine and the feminine. And so to just allow speech to flow through your mouth with the intention of allowing the interconnection of masculine and feminine. What do you think?
It's a great idea. It's a great idea. And I will try that out. Thank you. Thank you.
Good. And could you feel when you really accessed? Because your mind wanted to kind of, ooh, and then after you paused, you could access. Beautiful.
That was a very strange experience for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What I saw when you were talking was actually if the heart is a little more on the feminine side and the thinking center is more on the masculine side, that the vocalization is kind of a place where there's an alchemy of the two. And since expression is such a huge part of your being with your art and whatnot, that it was actually that I saw, instead of speech, I actually saw it more as just the raw sounds, the vocalizations. And we did those seed mantras this morning. Like there's just something maybe there for you in terms of just that feminine kind of just la 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 la, like just hallelujahs and the chanting. I don't know, that came through when Devorah was speaking. But before that, I just got 3 words: bask in nature. And the word bask is important because it implies that feminine, almost like when Evalena painted that imagery of just being in the meadow. But I actually saw a seal basking on the shoreline, taking in the sun. But that just kind of like an aimless way of being in nature, not that like let's go on a hike to the top of the ridge, but just the meandering, and that the feminine embodied in nature can really nourish and balance your soul. Curious if that or how that landed, I guess.
It's interesting because I love nature and I'm in it all the time, but I have a purpose. I mean, I'm going on that walk. I'm going to get some exercise. You know? Like, yeah. So it certainly landed in terms of I need to be less purposeful. And I like that the way you talked about the throat being the sort of center area of the head and the heart. So, yeah, that's nice. Thank you.
So Kai, does that feel more like today you were channeling? You were getting the words, getting the images, and then were you interpreting or letting the words be interpreted, letting spirit interpret?
Yeah, I'm definitely approaching today a little differently. Like I'm sincerely like, rather than it's okay if I just speak from my own self, I'm like, I'm just asking.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I am seeing more imagery coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It feels more collaborative. Because you all have wisdom, but the channeling is allowing spirit to add to that. Feels like that's happening in you more.
Cool. Thanks.
Good. Anyone else? Katie?
We are wanting you to look towards your art and the gateway of what in one way has led you to decipher how to tap into your masculine in problem solving and critical thinking and things like money and things like gallery logistics, and realize that what got you there is the divine feminine artist. You created your art from a moon energy, an artist energy, a feminine energy. You've still got that, but there are moments where one will step up to manage the logistics, the 3D reality, and one will step up to create that groundbreaking artwork. You have both in you. Allow them to work in union and understand sometimes one is stronger than the other, but this is sort of a balancing act. And I'm being shown scales, like the scales of justice. It's okay to bring out one more than the other. They both have their time and place. How does that land?
Yeah, that felt really good. Thank you very much for that, Katie. I thought I hadn't reflected on the fact the business side of the art is, of course, tapping into the masculine side, and the feminine side is the creation side. I hadn't actually conceptualized that around my art piece. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Good, clear transmission. Yeah. Good. Lara?
In all honesty, I did miss the chunk of the question. I stepped away to use the bathroom. But the image that keeps coming to me in this dance of the masculine and the feminine is you painting each of those. You painting the feminine and what the feminine means to you. And you painting the masculine and what the masculine embodies and means to you. And then maybe even merging those paintings or painting the marriage of the two. Because what everyone else has already said seems so beautifully appropriate and right on. In that, there's this masculine world. I mean, Katie said it beautifully, where the art is the femininity. And so it was an idea. It wasn't just an idea. It was an idea or a vision of really going wild with like, what is masculine to me and how do I see and feel and taste and smell masculine? and the same with feminine, and then a merging of the two. So curious how that landed for you, Kimberly. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Thank you. I've already scoped out my next two paintings. Just waiting for the two current ones to finish. And one of those is a man and a woman in water. I love doing water, and they're holding hands and they're just walking away into the sunset. So you just, oh, that's the painting. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Beautiful. That felt very clear, and it's lovely that you didn't let your mind stop you because you didn't hear the whole question. Yeah, because that was a beautiful transmission. Good. So we found this a curiosity and decided to allow it to just see what people did with it, because in your question was the inner masculine, the outer masculine, the inner feminine, the outer feminine, and we could have said there's no distinction. There, you know, the masculine can be within and just be like a quiet strength, and be outer, implementing all your things in the world. The feminine can be within and just that stillness in nature, just that beingness. And she can also be outer, creating. And we felt it would be confusing to try to think of them as four aspects when there are two aspects expressing in various ways. And it was fascinating that you all kind of went with that sense of the play of the inner masculine and feminine. And rather than letting the distinction be a stop point. So the questions back to Kimberly were helpful too, because if you receive a question and you're like, huh, what, then more inquiry, you help formulate it. Good. Anything else? Let's clear the space. So, we have 16 minutes. We'd like a few minutes for closure. So we could do commitments, and we could also do just a check-in about what you're learning about yourself in this practicing or in this work today. So if you'd like to do the commitments here, raise your hand. If you'd like to do the check-in about what you're learning, raise your hand. Okay, good. So, tuning in, what is the deepest learning I'm having about myself? As we enter this place of allowing channeling to come through. What's the deepest learning? And where could I give myself more permission? So we're going to suggest doing this in the order of the original check-in, and if you're not ready, just pass and we'll come back to you. So Kimberly, you were first. Unmute.
I I went into today with the intention and the openness to try and participate more. I sort of felt I was holding myself back in the last 2 weeks as I was building trust with the group. And so I opened myself to the possibility. And in fact, I asked my guides to help me try and channel today, because I channel differently, but through voice, not through the other ways that kinesiology is generally how I channel. And so today I learned that the pressure on my throat means it's okay to, like, I've got something to channel. So that was my physical indicator that I'm not sure. Again, it's the Council of 12 giving me the actual words, but something's happening there this week versus the other 2.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Great learning. And it was lovely to have you participate. Yeah. Oh, let's sparkle. Yeah, good idea. And Kai.
I'm struck by the visceralness of opening the crown chakra, and I think that I want to like, I'm actually, yeah, just really feeling like a tingling and an opening, and so I want to meditate with that more. I mean, I've heard that these times are like conducive to meditation. And then when I actually dipped into it, I was like, wow, it really is. Like, I was feeling the exit, like, just ecstatic, just the breath being ecstatic, and that I had experienced only like deep way into a meditation retreat and stuff like that, just by showing up. So yeah, I think that's my big takeaway. And then, yeah, just trusting the process, but being sincere in the inquiry. Like, I think I was kind of like, because I didn't take this necessarily to learn how to channel, like this collaborative environment. It was more just to like show up to my spiritual practice more in general. But I was kind of like, well, actually, I'm just kind of holding myself back by not like claiming like, yeah, it'd be really cool to channel. So yeah, I'm just in that sincerity of like, okay, I'm open to stepping outside my comfort zone a little bit. I don't know if I totally did that today, but I feel like there was at least the opening of that more, the sincerity to really want to collaborate. As you said, I really like that word, with unknown, unseen forces. And yeah, that's enough, I think, for now, but thanks for the forum to explore. I'll receive some love.
All right. Sparkles. Breathing it in. So Evalena has also been curious about, and we have too, about how we're devoting as much time as we are to practicing channeling. And the goal, we think, is channeling your life. It's not to create a bunch of channels, verbal channels, but in whatever way arise for you to be channeling your expressions in the world. And so it might be you're teaching a child and you go, I don't know what to say next. Guide my words, my thoughts, my actions, and there you are channeling. So people don't need to know, oh, that's coming from higher. And once you break that barrier of not them and me, it becomes, oh, collaborative. Right now, I want Spirit to speak through me. Right now, I got it. There are times when Evalena is exhausted, and she'll go into a session and she'll say, Babaji, you got to do this one. Our Council of 12, this is yours. You got my body, you can use my voice. And we just say, okay, dear one, just go rest inside. And we handle it. And there are other times it's more collaborative. We get into an area that she has a lot of wisdom in. We're collaborating. We're accessing her wisdom. She's accessing ours. And so you want to let go of the distinctions of now I'm in it, now I'm not. Just go, how do I open to collaboration with Source? Yeah. Great. Laura.
Almost done. One more word.
That's fine.
Um, so what is the deepest learning I have right now? I think that my deepest learning is around trust, around trusting my own voice, around trusting my belly mind, and the idea that although something much larger is at force, I do get to use my voice and I do get to set boundaries. And the boundary setting has been a huge existential learning curve for me because I grew up in a home that was completely merged and we have no boundaries. And I got my boundaries by barking and yelling and snipping and being a little, shit. I was an only child. And really, the truth is that I have everything that I need right here in that connection with spirit and with source. And the more that I let go, and it's not about not doing, because there is a certain amount of doing that needs to happen, but the more that I let go, the more I'm actually shown the way. And I'm getting some pretty good lessons right now. So it's definitely like there is a sense of being a witness, that it's not that I'm not affected by the things that are happening to me in my life, but it's sort of like there's less charge. It's like I've unplugged the electrical outlets and I'm not getting the shock waves, but I'm definitely aware of what's happening. And where can I give myself more permission? I would say I can say yes to me, and I can also say no in terms of what's best for me. So, really giving myself permission to say yes to me and to make really clear boundaries with people in my life, because that's what I feel like I'm needing right now to clarify and to really solidify our boundaries, like what's okay with me and what's not okay with me. And how do I express those boundaries with love and ease and collaboration with source?
Beautiful.
My nutshell.
You ready?
Yeah. Thank you.
Devora.
My deepest learning right now is around taking risks. And today in channeling for Kimberly, especially, that was really kind of out of my comfort zone. And it felt like taking a big risk to speak when I felt like my conscious mind did not really understand at all. And in my channeling, it's kind of like I'm allowing myself to be not that articulate necessarily. I mean, I feel like the way I'm speaking is just, it's a little bit like bits and spurts. And so, I don't know, communication is so important, and sounding smart and like I know what I'm talking about and being articulate, but in the channeling process, I'm just allowing something to come through, whether it's very articulate or not. And there's something about this process that feels like it's transforming me that I can't exactly explain because I'm right in the middle of it. But to not have to be articulate, but just to allow messages to come through me feels very different. And I feel sort of like it's baby steps. I'm at the beginning of something, and it doesn't have to be. I don't have to be good at the beginning, really. What a concept. So that's cool. That's cool.
Beautiful. So let's all give up needing to be good at the beginning. Yeah. Get a learning curve. We get to begin. We get to have our first steps. Yeah. Beautiful. That's big. Yes. Thank you. Katie. Oh, yes. Did we? No. We did. Now we do. Breathe it in. Now, Katie.
So it's I think what I'm learning more than anything is I'm starting to allow myself to see how to really like live my uniqueness and embrace it. I've been planning an office or a workspace that I can do small workshops from and meet with clients one-on-one. And I'm realizing I I have a background in tech writing and I write business plans. That's one of my income streams. But I'm realizing this business is not the type of business I normally work with. This is a very creative, fluid thing. And so I just kind of had this intuitive hit. I almost need to draw the business plan in a very visual, note-taking, graphic organization way. And I feel so at peace knowing I'm allowed to plan differently. And that process is going to look different because this is not a tax preparation business. This is a business about art and energy. And so I'm kind of like, okay, I get it now. So letting myself, I guess in a way, let the good parts and the happy, joyful parts of the inner child come in and play. Even though like my masculine can be too powerful. And that's where I'm like, let's have fun with it. Let's draw it and decide what colors to make these words. And just how do I want to make this feel alive?
Yeah. That allowing that interplay is all your masculine needs.
Yeah, my masculine's kind of like that dad who's had a really busy day at work and he's like, I just need a nap. And so I think it's time to give him a nap.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to tell them to go off duty sometimes. Yep. Beautiful. You know, and the feminine just can say, I got this. I'm going to go paint. Go nap. Yeah. Excellent. Sparkles?
Thank you.
So let's thank the Council of 12. Thank all the amazing guides and angels and beings of light who attend this work with us, and bless them. And ask that y'all, we could say from North Carolina, y'all, that you continue to guide and direct each one here. Help us all learn to listen more deeply and evolve from the center of our path with miracles of grace and ease. We release you. We ask the realms of light to bless this earth, shower this earth with love and light and the exact amount of climate activism that shifts it toward more health. May all beings live from a higher place within. Blessed be. And then let's each release the other crown chakra. I release you, beloveds. I take my energy back. Third eye, I release you. I bring myself back. Throat, I release you. I bring myself back. Heart, I release you. I bring myself back. Third, I release you. I bring myself back. Second, I release you. I bring all me back. And first, I release you. I bring myself back. So thank you all. Let's do an Om. Let's just do an Om and keep adding in till we feel complete, okay? Oh, and actually you need to unmute so we can hear you. It'll be whatever it is. Thank you, and blessings to all that is. You're unmuted if you want to say goodbyes.
Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. Thank you, Evalena, and everybody.
Lovely to be here today and sharing. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Blessings, everyone.
Some love. Have a great week.
Put your commitments in the website special group for us, please. Thank you all.